Welcome back to Some Kind of Fun, Season 2, Episode 8. That's 20 for the arithmetically challenged at home. I'm here with my good friend, Molly Maher. Molly, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good.
Yeah.
So good to see you.
Great to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
So let's start on your personal music side of what you're doing these days and a little bit about how you got there.
Okay. Well, these days I'm wearing a lot of hats, just trying to pay the bills. Managing an artist, booking some bands, and then, all winter long we spend so much time booking for our summer and just trying to get in on any of the festivals or anything that you can. So there's just this kind of quiet rush during the winter months, and then the summer happens, and all that work, you are in the middle of it. So you're kind of sprinting through summer, whether it's your own gigs or other gigs. And so now we're coming out of it. And so now it's like the scramble to get your winter booked.
Okay.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now is
All
like
right.
just finishing up some summer stuff, looking towards the fall, and then just trying to figure out what would feel good for next year.
Yeah.
Which for me, in my own personal music, is writing new material.
Okay.
So trying to kind of let go of the gas a little bit and trying to work on letting some new songs come and workshopping those. That's the
That's
beauty
great.
of being a musician in Minnesota. It's an
Yeah.
indoor sport. So
Well, you could work outside in winter, I suppose.
Truth.
Just not for long periods of time.
yeah.
Yeah. So are you and the Disbelievers going to do the White Squirrel residency again this year?
Yes,
Okay.
that's in the works for sure.
Okay.
We love that gig. We used to do a weekly gig at Nye's for years on Wednesdays, about 7 years, and then we went off and after Nye's went through its transition, we moved over to the Astor and did a couple more years there. So it was great. It was a great way to just keep time on your feet. But weekly starts to add up. So coming back to trying to do a residency, monthly felt great. And for me, it was important to have an early show. So these gigs that we do at the White Squirrel are 6 to 8 on Wednesdays. The second Wednesdays, we're number 2. And then it also had to have free parking and it had to be close to my house. So the White Squirrel also has a great vibe. So
Yeah.
we'll go back there. And it's kind of an open rehearsal, just a great way to try new stuff and work with some artists and just
Absolutely.
play together and just see what happens. That's
Yeah.
what I personally love about playing with those guys is our musical conversation that happens because it's always different. Or
Right.
at least I try to make it different.
Yeah.
So yes,
Always
we'll come
so
back.
much fun.
Thanks.
Yeah, I'm looking
Thanks.
forward. Because as you know, it's close to my house as well.
That's right. Yes.
And it's early. Two
Yes.
things I really like.
Oh man, yeah, I'm in. I'm in for it. I think the pandemic helped shape seeing music differently, whether it's a hybrid with streaming as well as seeing it live, but then also just like this new early is good, and it's been interesting seeing so many venues embrace that, like the White Squirrel again, let's have shows at 1:00 on a Sunday. I mean, everybody's schedules are different and fluid. So I've been really appreciating having these opportunities to try new things,
Yeah, that's great.
new times.
Yeah. And you talked a little bit about it, but can you give us a little more on your current role as an impresario, both a booker of bands, a manager of bands?
Well, I manage. I'm so fortunate to manage or work with Tina Shaleski. She was a hero and a huge mentor for me coming up. And this opportunity had opened up, and we were already working together on some other projects, and so that's been really it's been really great and inspiring to work with her, go back into her catalog, just try to see where we can go and if there's any new spots we can go into or new ways to showcase her music. Not just a legacy act, she's still creating and pushing herself. So that's been really fun. And then I booked some other bands, and I booked some like patio series and
Yeah.
but for me right now, it feels really good to match people's energy in working with artists. But I also I run a nonprofit with Todd Clauser called Music Mission. So we are working on some programming for that. And through Music Mission, we also do the Lakeside Guitar Festival, which we just did at Como, but we're talking about now expanding that to Mexico City in February.
Oh, wow.
So we're working with a space down there and some artists down there. So just keep building. And then I also book with two other friends. We started a festival called the Lute Song Music Festival up in Lutzen. So, getting ready for next year, but then also expanding programming there. So we're looking at maybe doing songwriter retreats and kind of the shoulder seasons up on the North Shore. So just trying to keep building, seeing where there's maybe some room for some moves.
Oh, that's great. By the way, I just want to put my own personal little push in here that I would really like to see Genital Panic again.
Yes.
So if you could get Tina
You got
to
it.
bring it back.
Challenge accepted. You got it. I just met that drummer. I was with Tina down in Marfa, Texas last year. She was doing the Tres Pecos Festival, and I met Sparky, the drummer from that band.
Okay.
And wow, what a badass.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we'll get them back up here.
Yeah. The awfully fun shows.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I guess with the election too, that might be
might spur
motivating
something
for
on.
yeah.
Yes. As I think the last election might have done as well.
Yeah.
To spur that band into action. So you personally, you're working on new music, you said.
Mm-hmm.
You want to work on it. Do you have any plans for when you want to get into the studio? Or is it more like I need to get X number of songs ready to go and then we'll head in?
I don't know. I used to get so panicked about that. Like, it's got to be on the certain timeline or, and with my last record, it took me forever to do. And it's just, I get spread thin and I get distracted. And it's also a lot of needing funds. But the last record, we were almost done with it. And then I went back and listened to it. And I was just like, man, this just doesn't feel representative of where I am now. And I remember talking to JT Bates about it, and I was like, this is just going so slow, and I was very concerned about that. And I said, this is moving at a glacial speed. And he said, dude, glaciers are unstoppable. And that somehow gave me like some relief that it's like, you know what, it's okay. Everything on its own time. Right. We're being saturated by so much, grabbing at our attention. And I don't want to just scream into the void. Like, if I'm coming in there, I want to give something of quality or something that I feel good about. So as far as timeline, I don't know. I mean, sure, it'd be great to have it done by, next spring. But knowing the way things work for me, it might not look that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
The last record, so when we finally started to redo this last record, the record is called Follow. We ended up going in the studio with a bunch of some of my favorite players, and we just played kind of the same thing for about an hour and just let the rhythms kind of change. And then we got done with that, and then we split it up, and that's how I made the songs out of that. So
okay.
I love that experience. So maybe something like that again. I'd love it to be, collaborative like we did the last record too.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And then is there any movement on, is it called the Pajama Party?
Vajama.
Vajama.
Yes. Thank you for asking.
Uh-huh.
I started having some, just because I started having these gatherings of just some women around town that were active in the music scene, and just to kind of bring us together and talk about some things. And it was mainly when Tina was in town, to have her just kind of meet some other artists and just be support. And Becky Capel came up with the name, and she said she was talking about something else that she has been working on, but she'd said, I'm coming up with this thing called the Vajama. And then I decided, well, we're going to call these Vajama parties.
Oh, nice.
But we started playing music together during these parties or these gatherings. And then just this band started to form out of it. And that's also with Tina, and it's called Quattro. The band is called Quattro in honor of Susie Quattro, Leather Tuscadero. So we're working on that record. We started it about a year ago. We started tracking it, and just with everything, we just had to put that aside, and we're still writing some material. But what's really exciting is that I did reach out to Susie Quattro and asked if she would, fly in some bass tracks, and she said yes.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, so that's, so that's pretty exciting.
We're all excited.
Yeah. But I have to say, so I went on her website and I was trying to figure out how to contact her. She lives in the UK. She's lived there for quite some time. And on her contact page, she's got a stack of contacts, for press, for booking, all the things. And I just started clicking on all of them just to see what emails would come up because they were just links.
Sure.
And then there was 2 that would come up at an AOL account. And I was like, well, now she's of an age. And I was like, that's her email. She's got to be at an AOL. And it was. So she got right back to me. And she's like, I sent her, I said, this is who we are. Here are the tracks that we've started. This is honor of you, And she was like, I will support my sisters in music. Absolutely. Just let me know when and send me the tracks.
Oh,
so,
that is so
pretty
good.
exciting. Yeah.
That is so fun.
Yeah. So, but yes, we will have our pajama party this year at the Parkway Theater.
Okay.
We started this last year. It was just a very last minute idea. Tina had an extra night there. And so we decided that we would have a pajama party. We'd bring everybody in. But we would use it as a way to wear pajamas to a gig. And also it was a diaper and menstrual pad donation thing.
Oh.
And so we got so many huge donations, and I went around to a couple of different women's shelters and then and donated those. So that was great. So yes, we're going to do it again this year.
I love that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks. Yeah. That was
great.
fun.
Well, Molly, thank you so much for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
It's really great to have you.
Appreciate it so much. And let's get out and give me a golf lesson.
Yeah, we're going to go out and play.
Yes. I like it. Thank you.